Welcome everyone back to the Brickitect studio, a place that is starting to see some very much needed action now that summer is in the rearview mirror and fall is upon us. Speaking of fall, that's what the tears are doing for my eyes right now. But no, this is a time to celebrate because it gives us an opportunity to get back into Lego, something we love to do. In fact, Clarkman already hit the ground running this morning. He shot a whole video for you guys showcasing some Marvel mocks that he had made. And I just love to see that. To me, that is the pinnacle of Lego. That is what Lego is about. It's about being creative and making cool stuff of your own. But in the event that you're not nearly as creative as the Clarkman, some of us wish that we could be, particularly me, you end up building some sets that Lego has made. And that's what we started over this weekend. We got into the Lego Soundwave set, and as of this morning, we built a little bit before school. We've got the upper torso done and still a lot more to go there, and that's something that Clark and I are doing together. So that's gonna be held off until he gets home. But for today, I got a little something along with Soundwave that I thought we could get into that Clark gave me permission to build, and that is the LEGO SEGA Genesis controller. In fact, the whole reason I bought the Soundwave set was just to get this. LEGO got me again with their gift with purchases, but this is an awesome one because not only is it a controller, it's also a showcase into the thing that we love, which is what Sega does. No, I botched that. Sega does what Nintendo don't. We tried. There was an attempt there. We're also going to attempt to build this today. I thought that would be fun to do. So I'm going to get into this. This will be a little solo build. No Clarkman in this one, but we will get a Sega Genesis controller and I'll get to relive my childhood. And Sega can do what Nintendo don't. We got it that time. Now that I've alienated all of the Nintendo fans and it's just the four of us Sega guys still here, I feel a little more comfortable and less nervous opening this set up. So let's go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, we have punch tabs here, my friends. Punch tabs strike again. I'll show you my method for defeating these. This is completely unnecessary, but I like to show Lego that I'm not going to tolerate their punch tabness. And we'll just open this up this way. I just put a knife behind that, and that kind of cracks it, essentially making it so it would be if there were no punch tabs, if they just put tape on there. You just got to reach in there like that. It does make a little bit of glue and mess there, but if all goes well, you'll end up with something that looks like that. And then inside here, we've got, oh, a non-folded manual. Could life be so good? If you saw our, what is that? I was just about ready to brag up Lego. I got the stickers, which makes sense because it's for the different regions, and that's fair. I'm going to go with this one for sure. That was the one that I remembered as a kid, but we do have a manual that is not folded. I was going to say, if you saw our Soundwave video, looks like someone took a bite out of the front cover of that manual for us, which was unfortunate, but not enough for me to get too worked up about or upset over. And as you can imagine, this is probably just the controller getting built, and I'm excited to see how this works. I haven't really watched too many reviews on this. I mean, obviously you can see what this is like on the back. I just knew that this promotion was happening and I wanted to take advantage of it. So like, I like this because this is how it's probably gonna be displayed most times, but then you can see inside, and we got a scene from Sonic the Hedgehog playing in there. So I just think that's really cool. In terms of bags, get my knife out of here so I don't cut myself. Would not be the ideal video. There's bag one with lots of colors. Look at all the colorful nature of this. And then this is bag two. I'm assuming that's the internals, and then this is going to be the externals of it, including the red stand. I'm not sure if you saw that, but it actually sits on a stand, so you can have it proudly on display. And I just think that's really cool. So I wanted to buy a full price Lego set, said no one ever, so I could get this. They did it again, and it worked. I was just gonna cut to the finished model, but I think a part of the fun of this channel is coming along on the journey. That's what it's all about, you know? It's not about the set. This is obviously like the topic of this video, but more important than that is the experience in building it. So like, don't you wanna be here for that? Maybe you don't. If you don't, you can just fast forward. You can click the double tap like 500 times, and then you can go right to the end of the video, and you can see it built. But if you like to come along with me, I'm happy to have you. Here's bag one if you want to see what it looks like. Again, lots of beautiful colors in there. And I noticed this too. This isn't just the buttons and the logo there. This is also the interior of the Sonic set. So you can see the Green Hill Zone back here. You can see Sonic's lives. I guess we have it flipped over, but yeah, I just thought that's kind of cool. I don't mind those stickers really. That would be a crazy print. These should be printed though. And when I looked at the front of this, I knew that was a sticker. but I was like, those are probably prints, right? No, they're all stickers. We can live with it though. We won't zonk Lego too hard. Here's bag one. We already started it, and we'll go into the build process, which, you know what? Just how I was talking about the journey, why don't I bring back the live streams? Maybe live stream this for a little bit. Maybe not the whole thing, because I get super sidetracked and go off on live streams just chatting with people, but maybe just like a 30-minute stream where I just work on this a little bit. That'll have already happened by the time you're watching this, assuming that I do it, which I'm going to. Spoiler alert, I'm going to do it right now. If you want to come along with me for an extended period of time, if you're a brave enough soul for that, I will leave it as a pinned comment down below, link to the video if you want to check out the stream of me working on the Sonic Sega Genesis controller. And just like that, wrapped on the live stream, which was a lot of fun. Lots of very friendly and nice people in there who got to see me build bag one, like it was some type of honor. They got to see me build bag one of the Sega Genesis controller. This is the fun part, is what I like to say. Although if you're watching this video, stick around because we still have the outside left, which is totally as cool as seeing the inside of this, including Sonic, who's going around the what do you call those? He's inside the mountain. He's going around like it's like a full half pipe. It's a full pipe. And there's what the back looks like if you're curious. Here's our leftover pieces. In fact, they even gave us an extra one of the Sonics. I don't know how close I can get to it there, but you can see what Sonic looks like. And I just thought that was cool. So I kind of left them hanging there, and I was like, I'm going to finish the video, and that's what we're doing right now as I jump into bag two of the set. Not too much left, but we do have all of the stickers still to go. So I have not suffered through any of that yet, but it will come, and that's what we're getting into. I was talking in the stream about how we went like almost 2 months without making Lego content, and you missed this. You missed the bag rips. Like, you missed building sets. And I'm glad to be back into this, and it's just so encouraging, especially with like the live stream there. There's so many friendly people. I think I already mentioned this, but I'm just taken back by how the audience, even with being away for a bit and being out of, I guess what we'd call Lego season, getting into summertime, it's so encouraging to see everybody just be there and like be a part of what we're doing and be so supportive. So I appreciate that. Even if you're watching this video too, if you weren't at the live stream, because at noon on a Monday is not an easy time to attend things like that. I appreciate you watching and being a part of our community here. It's an honor to be able to do this and to be able to share our Lego collecting and or organizing, hopefully getting back into Lego organizing journey. I was saying how much stuff that I have to do. Like, there's just endless things to work on, and I'm excited to get into all of it. But I'm mostly, at this current second moment, I'm excited to get into this Sega Genesis controller. So I'm going to go ahead and build this up. Here's a look at bag two if you just want to see it here, as I go on about my excitement level with just being a Lego YouTuber, I guess, if you want to call me that. Yeah, this is what we have left to build, which is not too much. And the stickers. Maybe I'll come back when we put the stickers on so you can endure that with me. The first sticker of the build, you can choose between 3 different Sega stickers to put on here. This is the one that is from my childhood, so I'll put that on there. But it's cool, once again, that they include ones for everyone else. On that note, let's get down to business here, as I almost epically fail on the application. I've heard people say that they use brick separators to apply stickers, and I don't know if I'd have the level of control to do that, but I've heard more than one person mention that in my comments, like, hey, you should use a brick separator. I don't know about that, but here we go. I'm going to say that application's, I'm going to say a 9 out of 10 right there. It's looking pretty nice, and that will go, oh man, that kind of comes off, but that's going to go right there. I'm trying to not get fingerprints all over this and failing miserably. We're going to have to clean this up afterwards. The dangers of shiny black Lego pieces. But yeah, it looks pretty good. That did not take many steps or pieces for this to really start feeling like a Sega Genesis controller, especially these rounded edges right there. That's pretty darn cool. There's the start button spot in there, in that hole right there. I was wondering how they were going to do that. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As at this point, we're just kind of plating this all up or tiling it up to kind of fill in these gaps here. As I continue on with this build, I'm thinking I should hold my comments to the end, because earlier I was saying this felt like a Sega Genesis controller, but now, after completing 82 steps, about to go to 83, which is the dreaded button sticker step, this thing feels like a legit Sega Genesis controller. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate the designers they came up with this. And I know I say this a lot, but if you commission me to come up with anything Lego, like in this example, a Sega Genesis controller, it wouldn't even be 10% as good as this is. Like, it's just so perfect. And the fact that Lego has all these pieces that allow for all these angles to happen is crazy. Like, I always think back to that Volkswagen Beetle that has all the blocky shapes and stuff on it, and then the newish one that came out that I'm in love with. And this kind of feels like the progression of Lego and the things that are possible. What also is possible, though? Stickers. That's probably the least fortunate part of this. I got to put these stickers on here. And I just, of anything, I wish those were prints, because you got to get the angles right, and I'm just like, oh, why? I'm over here going off about how much I love Lego, and then all of a sudden I'm like, actually, no. You see what they're doing with these stickers? And yeah, these things, like if these freely spun, it wouldn't be so bad. I don't know if we can see it or not. Circular tiles are stationary, so you got to get the angle of these buttons just right, and there's 3 of them, so if you get one not quite right, the set's not going to look quite right. So I do wish that they would have printed those. I understand why they don't. It's a money-saving thing, but I bought almost a $200 set to get this. You could have given me that Lego. I need to control my ranting. This kind of anger and raising my blood pressure is not going to help in the sticker application process. So let's just calm down, and we will put these on, hopefully in the... I'm going to try to get this right. This is causing me a lot of stress, though. It doesn't have to be perfect, although I want it to be. There's the A button. And then, oh, can you even see it? There it is. And then we'll put B and C on there, and we'll hope for the best. And the C button. I think I can live with that. Doesn't look too bad. Oh, I got to put the start button in too. Almost forgot that. I was looking forward to doing that because I was, once again, really interested in how they were going to integrate that. And again, if you told me, make a Sega Genesis controller with a start button, maybe I would have thought of that piece, but I've been like, how the heck am I going to make that look right? They made it look right. That looks pretty darn good. I just want to get rid of these 2 studs right there. There's probably no way around that, but yeah, that's incredible. We are on the tail end of this now. This is apparently a wireless controller. They don't give you any kind of like plastic cord or anything that they do in the Nintendo, but that's okay with me. This is going to be more of a display piece and not something that you actually hook up to the console. But there's what it officially looks like from the front with the little nubbin coming out of the top. And now we turn our attention to the back, and looks like we're tiling this up. Does this actually get covered the whole way? Again, I haven't watched a review on this. I guess this just stays open in the back. Okay, so you can. I was thinking that there'd be like a cover over the back and you'd open it up. But you can display this 2 different ways. So that's like the front and that's the back, which is actually kind of cool. I just assumed that that was like an Easter egg in there that would be all covered, and then you'd pop it open and be like, oh, there's Sonic inside there. So I kind of like that. Although I would have kind of also enjoyed them actually doing that, because then it would look like a legit controller. But I mean, you could easily do the back of one. It wouldn't be nearly as hard as doing the front. So yeah, as a display piece, I do think that's good to have on there. That way you're not like taking the back off and then wondering where to put it. But to make like a 1-to-1 Sega controller, I would have liked to have the back there. I feel like I should go watch some of the other reviews now just to see if they have the same thoughts that I do. It's kind of one of the benefits of not watching reviews, I suppose, is that you come to your own conclusions and your own opinions. And I've done that with movies too. Like, I stopped watching movie reviews because, like, there's been times when I've wanted to watch a movie and I look at the reviews and everyone's trashing it. I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. And then I end up going and liking it. Or I won't watch the reviews. I'll watch a movie and then really like it. And then I look at the reviews and I'm like, wow, literally everyone hates that. So I think ultimately, whether it's Lego, movies, or anything in this world, you should experience it yourself and make your own opinion. I mean, it's helpful to have somebody guide you, and if they point something out like I've done, that's nice. But like, sometimes you just gotta experience things for yourself, especially subjective things. Which maybe this isn't so subjective, like, you know, that's just preferences, I guess, is what everything comes down to. Movies or otherwise. Just like that, made it to the end of the set, got the controller built and the stand for it to go on to. And I wanted to show you a little extra thing that came onto the back here. The extra stickers are now applied. We got the Sonic Life sticker at the top, sort of like at the top of the screen. And then we've got the grass going across here. Each one of those is stickers as well. But I think that turned out really nicely. I am curious to see how this works with it on the stand. I don't know if it clicks in there, if it just sits on there. Looks like it just sits on it. So you can take it on and off if you want. But if we bring you in there, you can see how it will look on display in your house. If I can get it sitting there just right. There you go. That's the Sega Genesis controller with fingerprints included. I want to say, speaking of things you can put your fingers on, all of the extra buttons that they give you here, you can apply all these stickers if you want to. So they give you enough pieces that you could switch these out if you'd like. Me personally, I'm going to keep it to the one that I grew up with. So I probably will just leave this on the sticker sheet, and then I'll put these pieces in a little bag to keep them safe in the event that I ever sell this set, which is unlikely because this is going to be a display piece here in the studio. But I really love the way that that turned out. So you can have it sitting like that, of course, and then if you want to, you can spin it around and then have it that way, which is why that green piece is there. It kind of just blends in. I like that. I think that looks really cool. And yeah, I mean, I think you could go either way. This is probably the more interesting display to have that showing, but then you kind of lose what this is. I'll probably have it like this if I'm being honest, because I just think it's so cool. And that was such a part of my childhood. I talked about that a bit in the stream, my history of video games. I'm trying to get this to sit just right in there. I think I want it like that. But yeah, that looks really good. And again, that's a neat gift with purchase that LEGO included with, all I had to do was buy a very expensive LEGO Transformer set. I got this for free. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, the buttons, if you're wondering, the buttons don't press in at all. Unlike the Game Boy, which is like my #1 set that I want right now. The Game Boy is like high on the list. But I do love the way that this turned out. And it's cool to see LEGO making actual video game stuff. Like the Nintendo was amazing. I remember being so excited about that. And I've been wanting them to do more. And here it is. We've got the Sega Genesis controller. And I hope they keep this rolling. I'd love to see a Nintendo 64 controller. If you want to talk about testing the designers, that would be one heck of a test. Why stop at the controller? Let's just do the whole console. We did the Nintendo. We got the Atari 2600. They even gave us like the controllers and the games and all that stuff. Let's do Nintendo 64. That's the top of my wanted list. Which one would you guys like to see? Of all the consoles, I'm sure there's some peeps that would love to see a Wii, which would be a pretty easy build. I'm trying to think of something that would just like with the front of this, something that would really test them. And I don't think there's anything more challenging than the weirdness of a Nintendo 64 controller. So let's make that happen. Let's put that out there for LEGO to make. I would love to see a Genesis to go with this, but I think that would be what I'd love to see even more. So hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this journey and building a Sega Genesis controller and I guess diorama all in one. Clarkman's going to be all excited about this when he gets home. I'm sure he'll be checking it out, which is why I'm not going to bother cleaning all the fingerprints off of it, because I know when I do, he's going to have his little mitts all over, which is perfectly fine, because that's what LEGO is all about, just like we always say. It's about the experience. So I will put this on display for him to admire and then play with, and then we'll get a nice clean off and I'll put it on a shelf where it can be celebrated and enjoyed by our eyes. Which is quite possibly the weirdest line that I've ever said. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you had fun coming along with me. For everybody that enjoyed the stream, I'm glad you were there, and lots more LEGO action to come as we continue on with this season of LEGO in the Brickitect studio. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.